Thanks for joining today's edition of Aso Briefing. I am Richard Alechenoanyebe. Our top stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives Ethiopia for 39th EU Summit, AU Summit. FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike inspects key road projects, says most to be ready before Tinubu's third year. And on business, CAC anti-corruption agencies caution against non-compliance to CAC rule on disclosure of beneficiary ownership towards transparency. You are watching Aso Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UH band, you can find us on channel 38. Don't forget that this news is also streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Now we go ahead with details of all our stories. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima has arrived in Addis Ababa to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly. According to a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja, the Vice President was received upon arrival at Bole International Airport by senior Ethiopian officials, including the Minister of Innovation and Technology, Dr. Belete Mola, and Nigeria's diplomatic corps. This diplomatic engagement follows significant achievements secured by the Nigerian delegation during the just concluded 48th session of the AU Executive Council, led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Meitama Tugar. The diplomatic successes extended to candidates successfully elected to the AU Peace and Security Council, reinforcing regional unity as collectively endorsed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, with Nigeria's strong backing. It further read that Nigeria demonstrated leadership by convening a well-attended high-level panel on regional partnerships for democracy, fostering continent-wide dialogue on strengthening democratic institutions. The federal government also reaffirmed its dedication to collaborate with member states and regional bodies to advance shared prosperity and sustainable development across Africa. The federal government says it is intensifying security operations across Nigeria's north-central region to protect civilians in vulnerable communities following cowardly terrorist attacks that claimed the lives of about 75 innocent villagers in Kwara State. The renewed offensive, codenamed Operation Savannah Shield, entails the deployment of military, police, and National Forest Guards units to reinforce security assets in the theater. These forces are supported by enhanced intelligence capabilities and rapid response protocols operating under the expanded security mandate. President Tinubu condemned the Kwara attacks as beastly, heartless, and emblematic of a doomed campaign by terrorists who deliberately target soft subjects. A statement from the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said that the President has directed that the full weight of the state be brought against all actors threatening the peace. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Aso Briefing, has continued his inspection of ongoing infrastructure projects across Abuja, expressing satisfaction with the pace and quality of work. He says several of the projects are expected to be completed and inaugurated before President Bola Tinubu's third year in office. Our correspondent, Usman Katun Umar, reports.
It was a marathon inspection tour for the FCT Minister, Barrister Aso Briefing, as he moved across multiple project sites within the capital city. At the end of the inspection, the Minister speaks on the various projects visited and the expected time of delivery.
We went to Uselikin to Central Business Area, which has been done by Levant Construction Company. I believe, by the grace of God, like they have said, they will hand over the project by June. And from there, we move to Mabushi, where you have the bus terminal, which is also carried by Satraco. Very good work, quality work done. I believe they are going to meet up. Like I said, it's one of the rules that we believe we should be able to inaugurate by the third year of Mr. President's anniversary. And then we went to Wuye, where Arab contractors. It's a major work. That's try N1. We believe by the end of the year, not this May, June, Probably by the end of the year that has been completed. That will be completed. Now we're here, almost 60 to 70 kilometers of road. As they have populated this area, and this links to F5, that's Life Camp. You can attest to the fact that we have really opened up the federal capital territory.
On funding, Barrister Wike explained that the projects are largely financed through the FCT's internally generated revenue, noting that allocations from the Federation account are insufficient even for salary payments.
Like I said, the funding is through IGL. That's why we're very aggressive in the drive for IGL. And to the glory of God, we've been doing quite well. And so the funding is through the IGL mainly. It's not for the Federation account. The Federation account hardly even is enough for payment of salaries.
Regarding the delay in the commencement of operations at the bus terminals, the minister said approval from the Federal Executive Council is being awaited as the management structure requires federal clearance. He disclosed that private operators would manage the facilities once approval is secured. Addressing concerns over vandalism of public infrastructure, particularly street lights, the minister said new installations by CCECC and CGC include security features to deter tampering. Barrister Wike assured residents that the administration would continue to fast-track infrastructure development while strengthening measures to protect public assets. Usman Katun Umar, Aso Television News.
The Senate Committee on Finance has declined consideration of the 2026 budget proposal of the Accountant General of the Federation following revelations that no funds had been released to ministries, departments, and agencies under the 2025 budget. Lawmakers expressed outrage during the budget defense session, describing the development as unacceptable and responsible for crippling government operations nationwide. Chairman of the Senate Committee, Senator Sani Musa, said complaints from MDAs had been uniform, with several agencies lamenting non-release of funds despite budgetary approvals.
And in so doing, we'll be able to defend whatever actions or activities that you have taken to do. But a situation where we will be asked, where are we, and we will not be able to give any response is not good. It's indicting to the committee. So I'm using this opportunity to highlight these issues, and I know that my distinguished colleagues also have their own to present. But in the meanwhile, before we even agree, because we have not agreed to take your budget, and we said we are not going to take your budget for 2026. And if we don't take your budget and you spend any money, you know you are spending it illegally. So until when this committee feel it is convinced that the activities of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation is in line with its obligations and responsibilities, then we will go ahead to consider your budget. And I think that is the ruling of the committee at the moment. So
the committee subsequently stepped down consideration of the Treasury's 2026 proposals and moved into a closed-door session to probe the persistent non-disbursement. Appearing before the panel, the Accountant General of the Federation, Ogundimi Babatunde, attributed the situation to inherited fiscal challenges and revenue shortfalls. He explained that while his office is responsible for disbursement, releases are subject to directives and availability of funds. He cited poor tax remittances by some MDAs, award of contracts without secured funding, and inadequate revenue inflows.
Identify upon my assumption of duty that the process or the system we are operating did not follow section 61B of the Public Procurement Act. Sir, I just heard you when you were having the interface with one of the agencies. That section requires that there must be funds availability before contract award is issued. Then, what happened before now? We are having ways and means to fund the budget. And so, this current president said, no more ways and means. We should all live within the revenue that's generated.
Senators Adams Oshomole, Danjuma Goje, and Patrick Ndubeze demanded explanations over revenue remittances, abandoned road project, unpaid contractors from 2024 and 2025 fiscal years, and internal protest within the ministry. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading proposed a 601 billion naira budget for 2026, revealing that 858 billion naira appropriated under a power intervention program was not released. The agency disclosed that generation companies are owed between 50 and 60% of payment for electricity supplied. Similarly, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission reported that only 49.3 million naira was released from its 761 million capital allocation 2025. For 2026, the Commission proposed 848 million naira, including settlement of outstanding 2024 obligations. Lawmakers withheld approvals of the agency's proposal pending further review, instructing the MDA to return to the committee on Monday, 6th of February 2026. 16th of February 2026. Now, Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Infectious Diseases, Mr. Amobi Oga, has assured that the Parliament will ensure that the 2026 budget is fully implemented, unlike the 2025 budget. Mr. Oga gave the assurance during the 2025 budget performance appraisal and 2026 budget defense with agencies on Thursday at the National Assembly. The lawmaker also appealed to President Bola Tinubu to step up efforts in delivering on his campaign promises.
That the past year has been a very difficult and challenging year for our country. As we witness virtually 0% budget implementation, it is our hope that this anomaly will be addressed going forward so that confidence can be restored in our government, and our people will continue to reap the dividends of democracy, which is the reason why we are all aspired to represent our people.
Spokesman of the House, Mr. Akin Rotimi Jr., while making his contribution, noted of imperative of lawmakers carrying out proper oversight towards also ensuring full budget implementation.
The Constitution empowers that we oversight, in fact, empowers us with all appropriation, whether federal government funds from the consolidated revenue or whether grants, anything as long as it is being appropriated for work by government entities, the Parliament is supposed to do that. So you can understand why we're a little concerned about funds showing up on our position that we don't have oversight of. You know, when you talk about direct disbursements, that means that, you know, it wasn't subject to our own sovereign public procurement framework, you know, and, you know, they made those expenses on our behalf.
The session was attended by the Director General, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, Director General, National Herbivirus and Vector Research Center, as well as Principal, National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Training Center. The House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee, PAC, has recommended the exclusion of 2026 budgetary allocations to around 22 federal government agencies over persistent failure to account for public funds and refusal to comply with legislative oversight. Chairman of the committee, Mr. Bamidele Salam, made the recommendation during its Thursday public hearing, following repeated invitations and directives to the affected agencies to respond to audit queries contained in the Auditor General for the Federation's annual reports for 2020, 2021, and 2022. Topping the list of the recommended agencies, according to the committee's chairman, are Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, Federal Housing Authority, FHA, Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, National Insurance Commission, NACOM, and National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NAPTEP. Among other agencies recommended for budget exclusions are Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, and the FCT Secondary Education Board. All the recommended agencies, according to the committee, fails to submit critical financial records and declines to appear to address audit observations relating to non-compliance with financial regulations, violations of due process, and serious weaknesses in internal control systems. The committee upheld that the proposed suspension of budgetary allocations is consistent with relevant provisions of the Financial Regulations 2009 and the constitutional oversight powers of the National Assembly. Now, when Aso Briefing returns, we have more for you. Don't go away.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you remember.
Don't score a great pass in the circumstances.
Stay connected. Stay with us, starting from Yanga and Jolly.
You are watching Aso Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHA band, you can find us on channel 38. The Minister of Works, Engineer David Umahi, has clarified that the Federal Ministry of Works did not award the Abuja-Kaduna road contracts to Meccano International Limited. The minister made this clarification while briefing journalists in Abuja. Engineer Umahi stated that the contract was awarded to invoiced in line with due procurement processes and transparency standards.
What is this? Should I have been, they allow the ministry to succumb to blackmail and give out the job at 1.5? Is it about who is doing it? It's about our people. It's about mixing concrete with cement, chippings with cement and sand and road, and put our dictates as the case may be. Who are the people doing all these jobs in all these expatriate companies? It's our people. And that's why the president is patronizing indigenous contractors very well, alongside with the expatriate company. We can do it. Yes, we can. We went to the same school. We read the same books. Nobody should be inferior to the other. And I will not
Minister, while drawing public attention to the increasing rate of vandalization of critical road infrastructure across the country, noted that the ministry has the responsibility to provide accurate information to the public and to protect national infrastructure from destruction.
Is to draw the attention of the public to massive vandalization of our critical infrastructure all over the country. And this becomes necessary because whether it is fault finding or being sympathetic with us, whichever, we have a duty to make clarification. The coastal road flooding that is being circulated, but people are being half with the truth. Within that location that this is being circulated, you can see massive refuse. I was in Lagos 2 weeks ago to address that, and it's a daily fight. And I thank the governor and the people, government of Lagos State for the assistance, and the commissioner of police. They have massively deployed, within the coastal route to check vandalization. As we speak now, and I want the public to go and see it, the fence we have done to protect the coastal route is being destroyed by people.
The Works Minister said that parking of heavy trucks on bridges creates structural stress as bridges are not designed for static heavy loads. He disclosed that some offenders have already been arrested and are being prosecuted. Speaking further, the minister also has addressed the status of NMPCL-funded road projects.
We have a lot of NMPC-funded projects that we inherited. Essentially, these projects, were awarded by the previous administration between April and May 2023. Which means that everything about the execution, is being done by, the present administration. And they were awarded at the time that there was no removal of fuel subsidy and there was no, floating of the naira. So you can imagine, for a project that was supposed to be funded by an NPC about 4, trillion, how much it will be now. And that NPC projects were created by the past administration through Executive Order 007, and it's still subsisting. The only thing that has happened now is that NPC will no longer pay contractors.
Engineer Umahi reaffirms the ministry's commitment to transparency, efficiency, and accountability in the execution of these projects. Dr. A.K. Aloysius Izuchukwu, a medical practitioner and an All Progressives Grand Alliance chairmanship candidate for Buhari Area Council, has unveiled a policy platform centered on digital education, healthcare revitalization, and transport infrastructure if given the mandate. Dr. Izuchukwu, who is contesting against several contenders, promised to run an all-inclusive and purposeful-driven administration. He said Buhari Area Council is a strategic administrative zone and would be harnessed for meaningful development. Dr. Izuchukwu lamented over the current crisis the council is facing and promised to turn things around. The ABGA candidate blamed the previous administration for contributing to the failure rate in education due to the deficit of information and communication technology ICT centers and inadequate training for computer-based testing, which his administration will address if elected into office. Now, the chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, received a rousing welcome and an official endorsement from the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers, Abaji branch, during a meeting led by the branch chairman, Alhaji Comrade Adamu Danjuma Ozuye. In his remarks, Comrade Ozuye praised the executive chairman's leadership acumen, goodwill, and long-standing support for the union even before he assumed office. He recalled that during his chairmanship aspiration, Abdullahi purchased a brand new wagon for the union and supported 3 other branches in acquiring vehicles, assets that have since become major sources of revenue for the union. The NURTW chairman further noted that since assuming office, the council board has sustained a people-oriented administration that has positively impacted the union members, particularly through political inclusion, pensionable appointments, and other developmental initiatives. As a mark of appreciation and solidarity, the union presented a Holy Quran to the chairman, symbolizing trust, gratitude, and prayers for his continued success. Also speaking, the chairman of the AUA Union Progressive Forum, Comrade Mohammed Kadila, admitted that he did not support Abdullahi during his first chairmanship bid. However, he said the chairman's visible achievements and performance after inauguration convinced him and many others to join the APC fold. He described Abdullahi as the first executive chairman to extend meaningful developments to all parts of Abaji Area Council without discrimination based on religion, tribe, or political affiliation. He assured the chairman of 100% support from NURTW members and their families in the forthcoming chairmanship election scheduled for 21st of February 2026. In his response, the council chairman expressed profound appreciation to the leadership and members of the NURTW Abaji branch for their overwhelming endorsement. He highlighted key achievements of his administration and assured the union of greater dividends of democracy if re-elected. Following the meeting, the chairman and his entourage embarked on a courtesy walk through the market where they interacted with traders who offered prayers for the success of his re-election bid. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has recorded a major operational breakthrough with the arrest of 13 members of a notorious armed robbery syndicate linked to multiple violent robbery incidents across the territory. A statement issued by the command spokesperson SP Josephine Adi on Friday between 10th and 12th of January 2026, operatives of the command Scorpion Squad led by ACP Victor Godfrey conducted intelligence-driven operations in Apo, Waru, and Durumi following complaints on victims of armed robbery in Asokoro, Mabushi, and Utako. SPRD said, acting on credible intelligence, the operatives traced the suspects to their hideout in Durumi, where the gang opened fire on the police team, adding that the operatives responded decisively and overpowered the suspect, leading to the arrest of 8 members of the syndicate According to the statement, further follow-up operations led the team to a second hideout in Apo Wuru, where another exchange of gunfire occurred, resulting in the arrest of an additional 5 suspects. The statement further said the suspects were positively identified through CCTV footage obtained from one of the recent robbery operations, which provided critical evidence that aided their arrest, noting that preliminary investigations revealed that the syndicate was responsible for a series of violent robberies in Gwagwalada, Apo, Waru, Jahi, Wuse, and other parts of the FCT. Items recovered from the suspects include 1 grey Toyota Corolla vehicle, 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 locally fabricated rifle, 1 Jericho 941 pistol, 7.62 x 39mm ammunition, 7 rounds of 9mm live ammunition, assorted iPhones, $100 in $1 denominations, and assorted charms. The statement noted that investigations is ongoing and the suspects will be charged in court upon conclusion. Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Barrister Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, in collaboration with anti-corruption agencies, have emphasized the need to harmonizing national register of beneficial ownership across the country towards transparency, while cautioning banks and other financial institutions for non-compliance. The CAC Registrar General at the Anti-Corruption Day in Abuja, to marking its 35th anniversary, affirmed that the Commission remains the custodian of corporate identity records, highlighting collaboration with relevant anti-corruption agencies to deepen the fight against corruption. Our business correspondent, Ile Imeje, tells us more.
Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Barrister Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, at the Anti-Corruption Day to commemorate the CAC's 35th anniversary, cautions financial institutions against non-compliance with its reforms on beneficial ownership, while highlighting the need for information sharing towards better results.
I wish to reaffirm today that CAC remains committed to a prompt, responsive and proactive support system for all anti-corruption agencies. Our collaboration must not be episodic. It must be sustained, structured, and institutionalized. We must deepen information sharing, joint investigations, and real-time verification process so that our collective efforts can translate into measurable outcome for Nigeria.
While urging stronger collaboration to fight the war against corruption, the CAC boss disclosed that over 200 companies are currently under investigation with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for non-compliance of its rules.
CAC has also taken decisive steps to cleanse its internal system and demonstrate zero tolerance for corruption. In the year under review, I submitted to the EFCC a list of 248 fake company registrations illegally inserted into our system through unlawful means for investigation and prosecution. These were purported entities operating within the Nigerian system without traceable corporate identity.
In his remarks, Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, who was represented by the ICPC Director of Public Enlightenment and Education, Mr. Demola Bakari, underscored that the reforms of the CAC are crucial to strengthening investor confidence and accountability.
Transparency works best when institutions operate as a system, not in silos. Therefore, whole of government collaboration should be vigorously pursued. Private sector and citizen ownership. Transparency must be embraced as a shared national value, not merely a regulatory obligation.
The ICPC chief commended the CAC, describing the commission as indispensable to Nigeria's anti-corruption and development agenda. Ile Emeje, Aso Television News.
That report brings us to the end of the bulletin for today, but many thanks for watching. I am Richard Alechino Anyebe.